stopped. Let's see if we... Thank you so much, you guys, for joining us on TikTok and posting your questions. You guys are amazing. Didn't grow up Amish, but I grew up country. Yeah, a lot of things are very similar. The country folk versus the Amish folk. And depending on how country you were, there's a lot of similarities there. Let me see here. We're trying to... Are you sure you want... No, I don't want to end that. I'm trying to get them back on here because... it just shut us off. I don't know why YouTube does that, but they did. They just interrupted our beautiful life that we were doing together. So thank you guys for joining back in on this live. I need to figure out why that just happened, but I guess it did. And let me see here what happened. Well, thank you guys for coming back in here and posting your questions. Appreciate you all. We are actually, we got cut off on YouTube. We're still live on TikTok. Where is Lavina, everybody? She's not on tonight's live, so maybe next time we'll have her on. Yeah, hey, that stinks. It absolutely stinks. I don't know why that just cut off like that. But we'll give it a few minutes, and hopefully Chris and Saloma will be able to join back in here if they're still there. Let's see. No, we don't want that. Okay. Okay, thank you so much for joining back here on the YouTube live. I am trying to get them back on. Let me see if I can get a response. Just all right. So if you're curious why we're sitting here and pause, we were doing a live. We're still live on TikTok. Thank you guys for joining us on TikTok and hanging in there while we take care of this little bit of technical issue. On YouTube, we got shut down, and we're back live, hoping and waiting for Chris and Saloma to get back on here. So we'll see what happens here in just a few minutes. But you guys go ahead and post your questions. I know a lot of you guys had questions about the Amish, and you've been asking me in comments, which I greatly appreciate. I answer some of them. If you've also been watching for a while and you've posted a question on one of the comments and I haven't answered them, I will say I read a lot of comments. I try to get through... Well, I used to get through all of them, but I don't get through all of them anymore. But if I have liked your comment and put a heart on it, I have read it. So just so that you guys know, but it's almost impossible for me to read. To read the comments and respond to them on the YouTube channel. So I just want to point that out because I don't want you to think, well, he keeps telling me to comment my questions, but you never answer them, if you happen to be one of those people. So I appreciate you guys' interaction online. It really helps our videos. It helps our channel to get more exposure to a larger audience. And if you've ever wondered why YouTubers or social media people ask you to share their stuff, it's because it's really challenging to build a community that sort of sustains you enough in a way that financially that I can do this and, you know, be incentivized for my time that also allows me to feed my family. And hopefully that makes sense. So people ask constantly for you to share their content, to like it, to put it out there, because that helps them grow their audience. And some influencers make a lot of money, I will say that. I mean, I don't know if that's unfortunate or fortunate. For me, I don't make a lot of money on the social platforms. And hopefully someday that'll change, just for the simple fact that I want to do a lot of good with, if we're ever blessed with a lot of money from the socials, because I want to be able to be a blessing to those that are coming maybe out of the community and need some support, or even kids that need professional help, because unfortunately there is a lot of abuse, at least in the way that we grew up. There's a lot of abuse that goes on, and it's just more mental abuse and some physical. There's definitely some stories that we've shared on here that it's physical abuse as well, and just love to be able to help those people financially and help them get to a good place. And it doesn't have to be Amish related. There's also a lot of other people, like homeless people and people that are just struggling, that I'd love to be able to help. I have a huge heart for helping people. So are you required to wear the hat? I am actually not. Okay, let me see. Before I answer that question, I am trying to get them back in here, and they're saying it's waiting on the host, which just bear with me, because technology is not my strong suit. I think I say that on every live, but you guys are so patient, and I appreciate that. I'm trying to figure out how to invite them in to this live, because they're waiting on me to have them join in, and I don't know how I do that. Well, let me see if somebody in the comments know how to invite someone else into a live on YouTube. At least 1 minute content needed. Sure. Let's see here. Nope. Probably pin this live. Let's see. Okay. Oh, you know what I did? Well, that is a bummer. Okay, on let's see here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to call or have them join in via audio, because I cannot seem to get her on the live. and I don't want to make you guys wait any longer. But hopefully they can at least join in via audio. So I apologize about that, and I will answer. Yeah, Saloma. If you guys are on audio here, because apparently I am not very tech savvy, and I can't figure out how to get you in here. So
It's fine. I tried to reconnect in the link you had sent me. It says it's waiting on the host for me to accept.
Yeah, I am. Unless I end the live, that's why I'm not sure how to like
Gotcha.
link you back in. But I didn't want to close this out without you guys sharing any final thoughts or words that you had. So I have you on audio. They can hear you right now, but they just can't see your face, unfortunately.
Okay.
But yeah. I had read off a question real quick that I was going to answer right before I called you. Somebody asked if I had to wear the hat all the time. I don't. I actually choose to wear the hat now. I don't ever have to wear it if I don't want to. So that's a great feeling. But yeah, any final. I don't even know where we were at when we got cut off. Do you remember?
I think we were talking. I was sharing how we could still keep living without the electric. You know, if it ever would come.
Oh yes.
Wouldn't have electric.
Yeah. On that note, if you guys, get in a bind where you need some advice on how to live without electric, you just call an Amish person. They'll. Yeah, if you can find their phone number, just look us up. We'll help you. But yeah, is there any final things that you wanted to share before we close out?
I don't think so, except thank you for having me on here. I appreciate you having me on here and meeting all of your audience.
Yeah, I am super grateful that you guys came on, you and Chris. Thank you, Chris, for joining. I know that it's probably a little uncomfortable for you, but I'm really glad you came. And make sure you guys leave your comments for Chris if you would like to see him in the future. Maybe we can arrange that. But no, I will say that I really, really appreciate you coming on. And I know that the audience has really appreciated the interview. And there's hopefully we can do some future interviews as well. So
yeah, I would love to. Yeah. I enjoyed this.
So yeah, thank you for making the live happen. And let me finish up here with the audience because there's a few more questions I'm gonna answer, and then I'll call you guys afterwards.
Okay. All right. We'll be over on the live.
Okay. All right. We'll talk to you soon. Hey, you can comment too. All right.
Maybe I'll ask a few questions.
Okay. All right. We'll see you. Bye. Okay. What gets Let me start here. Wow, live stream excited. Happy birthday, Max. Can I live in your community, please? Ooh, can you live in an Amish community? Absolutely. You can. It is very, very challenging. I know a lot of you have wondered if you can join an Amish community. I will say that there are cases where people do, but I will also say that sometimes things look more appealing from the outside than they are from the inside. So if you do want to join an Amish community, just brace yourself for a lot of rules. That's all I would say. And don't go try joining the Schwarzentrooper Amish because they're the strictest ones out there. The reason I say don't go do that is because you might be very, very disappointed about the Amish as a whole, and I don't think that's a good look on the Amish as a whole. Click on, let's see, where can I place my order for the Amish pretzel bites? Just comment. Comment. At this point, comment. I don't know. I don't really have an answer for you on that. Unless Saloma wants to bake some and get them to you. But let's see. Jesus loves you. God bless you and your loved ones. I pray you find peace in your life wherever you need it. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thought the bishop found out. That's why our live stream ended. The bishop found out. He walked into the room and said, "Whoop, no more." That's a good one. I love it. Let's see. Love to see all of you in the future. Greetings from Ohio and living in Texas. Oh yeah, I moved from Ohio as well to Texas. I work with Mennonite community here in Canada. Awesome. Yeah, a lot of Mennonites, very great people. I have actually a brother who's Mennonite, nephews who are Mennonite, and what's the biggest difference is, they didn't want to be Amish anymore, but they wanted to have more modern technology. So they went Mennonite, and now they're Mennonite. Not my personal choice, but that was theirs. Bye, everyone. It was great chatting with you all. I'm assuming that's for Saloma and Chris. Thank you guys for being so supportive and them being on here and speaking with them and asking great questions. It makes this live a lot more energetic when you guys interact and ask great questions. You're a fake Amish because Amish don't own cell phones. Woo! Yeah, not true. Not true. Amish do own cell phones. A lot of Amish own cell phones. You may be shocked. You may be surprised by that. But when you're talking Schwarzentrooper Amish and you're talking Amish that aren't, when you're talking Schwarzentrooper Amish that are a member of the church, they are specifically not allowed to own cell phones. And as far as me being fake, I guess define what makes a fake Amish versus a real Amish. My answer to that would be I am not considered a member of the Amish church, although I have all the Amish experiences from my childhood. So I have since left. I do dress up in the Amish clothes, sometimes to, get some great interactions from people like yourself. Hey there. Have you seen the Amish fellow who's been doing popular podcasts lately? Like you're talking about the Amish dude who we had on several weeks ago? Yes, I happen to know him and I know his dad. If you're talking about the Amish dude, the young Amish man, Timothy may be on our live right now. Let's see. Is he? Possibly. He was earlier. Hey, Timothy. Invitation sent. There we go. Let's see if we can get Timothy on the live. Are you on here, buddy? Let's see. Anyway, yes, he is. He was on several podcasts. One of them being Theo Vaughn, drawing a blank. I love when you have Lavina here, or Lavina or her brother on, but all of your guests are great. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that, Mary. Yeah, we have a lot of amazing guests, and I'm telling you, that you guys already know. You love Lavina, but her and I did our first episode together, and she makes my job super easy. I mean, it's just that simple. Like, we have, I don't know if it's because we're family or what, but we have like a great interaction together when we're doing podcasts, and I love it. And I know you guys love it as well. I saw a movie about you. Do you know Roy? I'm not even going to pronounce that. I'm asking for a friend. You saw a movie about me, or did you see a movie about the Amish? Probably about the Amish. I do not know Roy, whatever that last name is. I have, so please explain who Saloma and Chris are. They married, and how old are they? Yes. Hey, that is a great question. You guys are awesome. I am such a, how could you say? I'm a host that's working on his skills here. So, yes, I didn't even introduce them properly. They are married, and they are. Saloma has been a guest on the Amish Rebel podcast before, so you guys may have seen that interview. If you haven't, please go check it out, and then also check out her socials, Saloma Hirschberger, or I think it's the Sisterhood Live on YouTube. So you guys can check out her work. I know she'd appreciate that. And yes, she was a guest on our podcast. So we're just doing a live answering some of your all's questions. So that is the relation with Saloma. Not family that I'm aware of. She's just she's someone that we interview, or that we had on the podcast, like I said, and then she agreed to do a live with her husband tonight to answer your all's questions. So thank you, Saloma, again for doing that. Do Amish make whiskey, not other types of alcohol? Do Amish make whiskey, not other types of alcohol? I don't know of any Amish that make whiskey. I'm sure there's some out there, but I am not aware of them. We didn't make whiskey growing up. However, we dabble around with making some wine, and I know quite a few Amish that make some really good wine. Whiskey, I'm not aware of it. I never would have thought I would see an Amish person on a live. Nice, LOL. Well, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate that. Yeah, it is quite the... Somebody commented here a while back, and they said, what a world we live in. We're seeing the Amish on social media. Yeah, I think it's just fascinating to see how the world has evolved, but not only like for myself. Like, I left the Amish. I thought I would leave everything behind about the Amish. And then as I got older, I realized there's a lot of good things that I learned from my Amish upbringing. And I began to think about sharing that and how I would share that. And that is why I'm doing this kind of work, because I really finally gathered up the courage to get online and start sharing my story. And the easiest way for me to do that was to put other people in the spotlight first and have them share their story. now I'm on here talking to you guys. So it is pretty crazy to think that I went from Amish to doing this. Why did you get out of the Amish? That's a great question. So I will just say, for me, man, there's a lot there. If you haven't been following us for a long time, the Schwarzentrooper Amish is the most conservative Amish culture there is, and very, very harsh rules. So for me, growing up, there's a lot of rules that I just was not getting answers to. Like, I had questions for these rules, but they weren't giving me any answers, which basically compounded over the years into my teenage years. And by the time I was age 19, I was doing drugs, I was drinking, I was absolutely miserable, possibly like some of you. I don't know. But if that is the case, I would just say that you don't have to continue to live that way. I'm gonna say that that's the way that I ended up. And then something crazy happened while I was Amish. I took this little trip to my sister's, who was not Amish, not supposed to take the trip, but I did anyway because I was absolutely miserable. And I gave my life to Christ, and from that moment on, I knew I would never be Amish again, simply because there's a lot of man-made rules, and I begin to understand from a biblical standpoint that they have made up these rules to kind of keep their way of living together, I guess. Man-made rules. Somebody wants to live under that set of rules, man-made rules. Hey, kudos to you. A lot of people choose to do that, just not for me. I'd rather put my hope and trust in Jesus, and that's what I did. And then that's why I left, why I got out, because I realized that they are not living Christian, and they're definitely, most of them are not Christians. Very sad. If you've never heard that before, that's a bit of a shock to most people, because they think all Amish are Christians, and it's just not the case. Someone who thinks all Amish know each other. Yeah, not all Amish know each other. Far from it. Yeah, it is a very very interesting thing, because if I speak Dutch, then I can go into any Amish community and I immediately have a connection because I speak Dutch. Not that they know me, but they think they know a lot about me because I speak Dutch. So it opens up lots of doors when it comes to that. And I'm so grateful that I'm able to do that, because I love connecting with the Amish people. That's also wild for me to say, because I used to never think that would be the case for me. Please hit that like. Yeah, thank you. Please hit the like. You're absolutely right. Thank you for that comment. Timothy, yes, he did. He did the Heartland Highway podcast. It was fantastic. Heartland Williams is such a silly kind of soul. It was fun interview and a great learning experience about the Amish culture. Hezekiah told me you know Roy. Roy, I know a Roy. I don't know if that's I don't know if that's the Roy you're talking about. Hezekiah, who's that? He was fantastic before his accident. Why did you leave the Amish? Yes, it would be nice for an introduction to us. Yeah, I apologize. That comment is directing towards our first live before we got cut off. And I will just forewarn you, I may be getting cut off again. That other one was right at 30 minutes, and we're again at about 30 minutes. So just in case I get cut off, I don't know why. It may be something with my settings, and I just didn't know it until now. I've been watching Saloma's channel and already enjoy it. Hey, thank you so much for watching her channel. And anyway, back to the comment about introduction. Yes, I will do a better job as a host to introduce people to you guys in a way that you know who you're talking to. When I go live again, I should say, did you marry your cousin? Oh, you guys are funny. No, I did not marry my cousin. Do some people? Yes, there are lots of Amish people who marry their cousins. Maybe second, third, fourth cousin. I'm not aware that my wife and I are related in any way. If it is, it's way back. I don't know. So, I'm not sure that I want to look into it at this point. I have 5 children, so it's maybe a little late for me to figure out if we're cousins. Explain how money works in the Amish community. That's a great question, you guys. And again, if I get cut off again, I don't think I'm going to come back. So just forewarning you. I love you all. Thank you for joining on the live. Really appreciate it. I'll answer this question and then we're going to start wrapping down. How money works in the Amish community? It works very much like the outside community. We go to work, we make money, we bring the money home, we go buy groceries, and we cook, and then we do it all over again. So it's very much the same. I will say that a lot of Amish do a lot of things for way less than what the outside world charges. And you guys may have already experienced this. And it definitely happens within the community. For example, if I would have stayed Amish with my Amish parents and would have taken over the farm, my dad would have pretty much handed over the farm. Of course, I would have had to pay, but I wouldn't have had to pay near what I would be paying out here for a property. I chose to walk away from the farm and all of that because I was not willing to live under that control and really just the man-made dominated rules. I would rather go work my tail off, which I have done on my own, and have my own farm the way that, I can, I guess, make the money in a traditional way, buy my own property, and then have the free will to worship God than to be under a set of man-made rules. You should do a live with your wife. Yes, maybe I should, but ultimately that will be up to her. And so I do the lives because this is also part of my job and I love it, but maybe she's not as excited about being on camera. Amish, former Amish, somebody asked that question. I heard Amish work hard. Definitely not, shy of any hard labor. And most Amish are not. If you've ever met an Amish person, they're more than likely willing to work their butts off to, accomplish their goals. That's most Amish. We are taught to work from a very, very young age. I remember as young as 4 and 5 years old doing manual labor that most people would call child abuse nowadays. And do I require the same standards for my boys? No, I don't. But they are taught to work, and I believe they work really hard, even though I don't put the same standards on them as what I had growing up. I grew up on a dairy farm, and so there was no break. There was no set aside playtime. You had to play during time of work if we were going to get any play done, and then most of the time that was frowned upon. Here in Canada, their old order, Dave Martin Mennonites, and won't have electricity or technology in their home, but 20 yards over in their shop, they can use cell phones and lots of tech, LOL. You see that a lot with the Mennonites, the Amish. They will not have stuff in their home, but if it's for their business, they can have it. One thing I've heard is the Amish and the Philippines are the hardest working people. Yeah, I think if you want, that's the one thing I would say that I miss, that if you want a group of hardworking people, you go find a group of Amish people. And you put them to work. You tell them what you want done. They'll get it done. You have a good attitude. Be cheerful. Or be careful of some of these trolls. They love misery. Hey, the trolls are my friend too. I love responding to them. As you guys may or may not have figured out by now, there's not too many comments that will get to me on here, if any, ever. I don't care what they say. If they're too nasty, then I just ignore them. What kind of drugs did you do? I really the only drug that I ever did was marijuana, which nowadays, to some standards, you wouldn't consider that a drug anymore because it's legalized in a lot of the states. But back then, it was definitely frowned upon. I still frown upon it. I don't do marijuana. I don't believe in marijuana. I've been set free from it. And I think it's better if you have a clear mind to think clearly and make decisions for yourself. Am I completely against it, or do I frown upon people that do marijuana? No, I don't. I just don't think for myself that it brings me any good benefit, if that makes sense. I am a flight attendant. Enos, I'm a flight attendant, and we had a lovely Amish couple on board, but I didn't think the Amish could use airplanes. Have things changed? Actually, you know what? Thank you for that question, and thank you for being a flight attendant. I know that can be a very challenging job, but I will say yes, that the more modern Amish in more recent years, some of them are flying now. I have heard of that. I have seen some Amish at airports. Are they supposed to fly? Is it frowned upon? Probably frowned upon, but more than likely they're not being shunned for it in the less conservative Amish groups, because they're kind of letting a lot of things slide in those less conservative groups than they used to. Hopefully that makes sense. So yes, you'll probably see more and more Amish flying over the years, just because some of those communities are splitting off and they're realizing that Jesus is more important than their rules. So they're simply just giving in and saying, okay, like, yeah, some of the things that we used to care so much about is not that big of a deal because the Bible doesn't permit us from flying. Hopefully that answers your question. Praise the Lord. I'm so glad you did, my friend. Yeah, thank you for that. Haste Draft Horses, Mules. Thank you for joining us. And God bless you and your family. Thank you for that. I appreciate your comment very much. Do Amish people believe in salvation by works versus faith? Do Amish people believe in salvation by works versus faith? They definitely put their rules to a very high standard of living. So let's just say they put that before salvation in faith itself. So that's for the Sports and Trooper Amish. I want to be clear because there's new people joining all the time, and I don't want to misrepresent the Amish at all. The Sports and Trooper most conservative group definitely is focused more on the works than they're on their faith and salvation. Hopefully that makes sense and answers your question. Are there any secret atheists in the Amish community there? Well, yes. Actually, not secret, really. They're just really atheists. And that's okay because they follow the rules. Hopefully that makes sense. Yes, a bit of shock. Sorry to hear it. And thank God you found a better way. Thanks for those fun and interesting talk. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying this. What drugs do you use? Marijuana. That's all that I ever used, and I don't use them anymore. That did say, do you use? I don't use drugs anymore. So let's just be clear on that. What is the material of your hat? It's that's a great question, actually. The material of my hat is some kind of wool, I think, woven together. I have worn these hats for years, and I've never asked that question. That's a really good question. It must be, like right now it's stiff. It's really stiff, but if this hat gets wet, it gets really limp, and it actually kind of ruins the hat if it gets too wet. Here comes the bishop. Hey, I've been set free from the bishop. What is the difference between Amish and Mennonite beliefs? Just a lot of difference. I've answered that question, mainly being a lot of Mennonites drive cars. Amish don't drive cars. Do Amish get the same diseases like cancer, and how is it treated? Yes, that's a really good question. It's actually one that's really close to my heart because my mom got cancer twice, and she was, I guess, excommunicated from the Amish community, but she still lived with my dad. She sort of dressed Amish. So I guess technically speaking, some people would have called her non-Amish, even though she was, I don't know. It's kind of a complicated situation, but I would just share how she handled cancer, and this is how all the Amish handle cancer, from my understanding anyway. Is in an emergency situation, most Amish people will end up at the hospital just like everybody else. Now they may make decisions slightly different from the outside world, meaning, like, I've noticed for myself that I don't hold certain medical advice to the same standard that maybe a person that grew up in that environment. Hopefully that makes sense. It like, we were taught to take care of ourselves, to take care of our own, to take care, like, figure out how we can treat things from a holistic standpoint, and not necessarily I have a runny nose, run to the doctor kind of approach. Hopefully I'm being clear here, but how do they treat cancer? They treat it really just like anybody else. The Amish will end up in the hospital, and then maybe the doctor will recommend chemo. And yes, are they allowed to do chemo? Yes, they definitely will do chemo. My mom did chemo. I think she did chemo twice. The first time she had cancer, she did chemo. She got completely healed, which was amazing. The second time she went in, and I want to believe they started the chemo. Somebody came and prayed over her. She got completely healed again. Praise God. And she went home, and that lasted until my dad passed. And then she kind of got sick. I don't know if it was heartbreak or not, but her and my dad were married for 54 years, I believe. And so she ended up passing, sadly. We never did take her back in because she did not want to go back in the hospital. But are you Amish? I used to be Amish. I lived Amish for 19 years. I got out. What's your favorite thing to do as an Amish guy? Oh, wow. I'll have to sit and think about that one for a bit. One of my favorite things is right here. Rocking in the rocking chair. I told my wife right after we got married that as soon as we can, I want to buy a rocking chair. And this rocking chair has been with us for a long time. Our kids get rocked in this rocking chair. It's a very nice piece of furniture that we used to have at home. It reminds me a lot of home. And I think along, maybe second thing is just simply riding in a horse and buggy. I enjoy that. There's something peaceful about it. And, I had gone back before several times where I would just take a ride in a horse and buggy. If you've never done that and you get the opportunity, I encourage you, absolutely go for it. It's peaceful. It's very peaceful. Maybe one day we'll provide that option for you guys so you can come and enjoy that. What's your favorite thing to do as an Amish guy? You say, oh, I guess maybe I misread that question, but anyway, we'll keep moving. You say you have 5 children. Are they all adopted? How old are they? So our 3 oldest children are adopted. So grateful to have our 3 oldest. We have 2 biological children, and at this point, I'm gonna skip past the age for now. Do you have hydro? I don't know what that means. Where are you from? I'm originally from Minnesota and currently in Texas. Is autism common in the Amish like it is anywhere else in the world? In the English world? Autism? I don't really know that I knew about autism until I got to the outside world. So probably not. Not that I'm aware of. Not Amish, but I grew up on a dairy farm also. I started young, feeding animals as I got older, milking. Yay for the dairy farmer. That was an awesome experience. I loved actually, I mean, looking back now, I'm so grateful that I grew up on a dairy farm because you learn so much hard work. You learn how to kind of take care of yourself, your family, and I'll forever be grateful for that. We got 2 cows here a few years ago, and we started milking them by hand. And I taught my wife, which she was Amish at one point too, but she didn't grow up on a dairy farm. I taught her how to milk cow by hand. This is kind of personal, but do Amish practice circumcision? Boy, practice. I don't know how to answer that question, to be honest with you. I will say that if they do, they would not be talking about it. So that is something for another day. I'll have to answer that question on a different day because I just simply can't remember. Just coming, did you answer the question about autism in the Amish community? Yes, I did. Not sure that was a thing because I don't ever remember it being a thing when I was Amish, only until I got to the outside world that I learned about it. It's crazy. I know Amish that are flying now. So crazy. Yep. It's an interesting world we live in, isn't it? Do they have I used to live down the road from the Amish farm, and one thing I always noticed, they all have beautiful teeth. They all have beautiful teeth. Do you know why most Amish people have beautiful teeth? It's because they pull their teeth at a very young age and they get dentures. So many people have asked me about my teeth. I still have my 2 front original teeth and then my 2 teeth like on the side, sort of like on the side. But like at a very young age, when I was, I think 12, 13, they pulled my 2 teeth right on the side of my 2 front teeth. I mean, you talk about creating insecurity in a young man. That will do it. And they just left it. They didn't do anything with my teeth. And I just grew up and I was supposed to find myself a girlfriend with like 2 beaver teeth and no teeth beside it. Yeah, I looked very goofy and I was very, very insecure. So the reason why the Amish have beautiful teeth is because they pull them all and then they get dentures, and most of them do it at a very young age. It is crazy. Amish still drive on carriages. Well, we call them horses and buggies. We call them buggies. We don't call them carriages, but I think I understand your question. And yes, it is very, very common that every day a bunch of Amish get on horses and buggies and they go drive everywhere. So it's awesome. That's one thing that I definitely miss, along with the community. Is it true that Amish weren't allowed to read the Bible in English? Yes, that is actually very true. A lot of Amish are not allowed to read the Bible in English. It is becoming less and less popular as more information comes out about the Amish, thus people like myself being a part of that. But there are a lot of Amish communities who still hold that standard that if you're not reading it in a language that you do not speak or understand, then you are going to be shunned. And it's very sad, actually, because they're basically keeping them hostage from figuring out the truth. And where did you grow up? Minnesota. I still have all my teeth. Where are you? Awesome wife. Where is your awesome wife? My awesome wife is absolutely awesome, yes. And she is most days very occupied with taking care of our family, which I'm grateful for. Do you all have made in China? Have you joined? How can I join the Amish? It's very difficult. I don't know. My question back to you would be, why would you want to? I'd like to get put on with. I would like to get put on with the Amish. I would like to get put on with the Amish. I don't know. I don't understand. Do you know of any former Amish families who have formed communities with benefits of community without the religious restrictions of being part of the Amish religion? You know, that is a very, very tricky thing because I've been thinking a lot about this since I've left the Amish. So the question is, do I know of any former Amish communities that have created a sense of community that is not a part of like sort of the Amish religion? And to be completely honest, I don't know, because if it is because humans are so I guess so easy to be like fall into sin, or so easy to just make everything about the rule. But I don't know if that even exists. I've been thinking a lot about it, and I don't know if it's even quite possible on this side of Earth to form a community that is so tight knit like the Amish that doesn't eventually end up in some form of dictatorship. Does that even happen? Do we even see that as something that is biblical? I guess we could say discipleship in a way, but it is a very, very tricky thing because humans like to control and dominate and take over, right? So that's just something that I don't know. I don't know. To answer your question, have I seen that on the outside? No, I definitely have not seen that on the outside, because most people leave and they still have the Amish sort of spirit within them, but they leave with like they wear different clothes, if that makes sense. I feel like it's only until you find Christ that you actually get set free from that Amish religion, if that makes sense. So what is Rumspringa? Rumspringa is the age between 16 and when you join the church. And the outside world has called that a time of going and doing whatever you want. The Amish don't actually say that. They don't want you to go do whatever you want. They want you to prepare yourself to join the church, and join it at a young age and find yourself a wife and have lots of babies and follow the rules. Life would be boring if we were all the same. Yes. Yes. That's why God made personalities, so that we're not all the same. Really, I didn't know that. Hello, buddy. Southern Ohio here. Thank you for joining. How many horsepower? The most horsepower we ever had in a buggy is 2. Yeah. Hey, comment if you like a hat. I've been thinking about offering these black hats. The reason why is everything that I do, I want to include people that are from this country, like people that are here in this country, living in this country. Not that I'm against other countries. I'm just saying like USA made. That's what I'm trying to communicate. Everything that I do, I want to be USA made, and preferably I would love to help out some Amish families that are maybe struggling, and that'd be a great way for me to connect with them. And these hats are made by a single Amish lady that that hand makes them, and she that's her way of making a living. And I've been thinking about selling them, offering them to you guys. You think that's a great idea? Comment below if you think so. Glad to see you live. Do Amish smoke buds? Do Amish smoke buds? Are you talking about weed? I don't know. There's a lot of drugs being used within the Amish community, sadly, but we were not allowed to smoke anything other than our like plain brown cigars, only specific ones, and then we wouldn't be allowed to smoke a white cigarette. So like anything with a filter on the back, we wouldn't have been allowed to smoke. So. Sorry, I'm new here. What made you lose? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close out tonight's live. It is getting later, and I need to go spend time with my family. I really appreciate you guys watching. Remember to always be intentional, and thank you so much for supporting tonight's live. I really am grateful. You guys stuck with me, and you came back after we got cut off. And we've been going for 55 minutes, and we haven't gotten cut off. So I don't know what the deal is. I got to figure that out. But we will see you in the next live.